How's it going? Motor City Miner here, coming at you with another kind of how-to. We'll call it a how-to, but how to replace the mini heat sinks on your Osprey E300. So if you guys remember when I unboxed this, the small heatsink hashboard, the one that's right here up against this outer case, one of the mini heat sinks that they have added so that you can overclock a little better, actually was loose and came off, probably due to shipping. So I am finally getting around to re-pasting that on there. It is a longer process. The glue they recommend is like a 24-hour set period, so this will be multi-parts. I mean, I'll just stitch it all together for you guys, but it will take me a little while to do this, but figured I'd go through the process and document it. So I'm gonna open this up, pull out that first hashboard, and try and clean off where that heat sink is that came off, so we can apply some new glue. And I will show you guys the glue that we will be using. It's this guy here. I'll open this up, try and do this one-handed for you guys. Look at that. We're getting more skilled. No, we're not. All right, there we go. We got it. We did get it. All right, so this is what they recommend. This Easy Cargo Thermal Glue ES910 Net 10G, whatever all this jargon is. I'll put a link down below in the description. I just bought this off Amazon. It was pretty cheap, but this is apparently what they use and what they recommend, so this is what I'll be using. So I'm gonna open this up here, slide out that hashboard, and get to it. All right, so we got the 3 hashboards out. I ended up taking out all 3 because I noticed they were pretty dirty when I took them out. You can kind of see all the dust and stuff on here, so I'm just gonna blow them all out. Even the heat sinks are kind of starting to build up, so if I'm working on it, might as well clean it. That's pretty much my my motto. If I'm already have the machine open, I try to clean them while I'm at it. So we're gonna do that real quick, but this is our one here. You can kind of see, so this one has on the unit here the heat sink, whereas this one is currently missing right there. We just have these 2. So we're gonna be adding that one back. But yeah, I'm gonna get these cleaned up, and then we will get to putting on that thermal paste to put on that heatsink on this one. All right, so we got those 2 hashboards back in there. They're all cleaned up. Got this one all cleaned up. You can tell it's a lot cleaner on the back now. So this spot right there is where this heatsink has to go. You can see there's some residue there. These like white spots and everything where this toothpick is. So I'm gonna scrape those off. I actually I really like using toothpicks for cleaning up areas, just because it's non-abrasive to metals, being wood. So that's kind of my go-to whenever it comes to weird casts like this. It's an awesome toothpick. So that's what we're going to use here to get off all that other old residue. Let me get that cleaned up, and then we'll put some new paste there. All right, that's much better there. You can see there's really no residue left on this guy right there. Got it all off, all those white and whatnot. So we're gonna put some new glue on here, put on the old heatsink, and should be good to go to let it set for about, I guess the glue says 12 hours, but Osprey recommends 24. So we're just gonna leave it overnight and get back to it tomorrow and continue this video. So let's get that glue out. And almost forgot. I grabbed the heatsink and forgot there's tons of residue still on the back, so I need to clean this off as well. So we'll get that cleaned off, and then we'll put it back on there. So, be right back. All right, so we're all ready here. It's nice and cleaned up, as you can see. And that spot's nice and cleaned up. Again, toothpicks. I love them for this type of work. They're not abrasive, and great for precision work like this. If you're doing anything at a really micro scale, obviously they make tweezers for this stuff as well, but tweezers can be abrasive because they are metal. So depending on what you're doing, if you don't need like a grip, if you're just really kind of like trying to scrape or things like that, toothpick, love it. So yeah, we're gonna put a dab of this glue on there. Apparently we're gonna try this with the screen going. You know, there we go. There we go. Now, it's very important with these to face them. You can see they have the fins going parallel to the heatsink fins, and that's because of the airflow through the unit. So it's very important to make sure that you are indeed doing that as well. And look at that, I dropped it. We're gonna have to do this with 2 hands. So, be right back. Alright, there it is. Nice and attached, ready to go. Not quite. We're gonna let it set, like I said, overnight, and come back and finish this up. Make sure that it is on there nice and, sturdy. Like the rest of these are very, very solid on here. This one, again, was just so loose that I barely touched it and it fell off when I got it. So might have just came loose in shipping. So once this is all dry tomorrow, we'll slide this guy back in there and get back up and running. And we're back. It's been 24 hours, or just about 24 hours. This guy, he's on here nice and solid. He's not moving anywhere, even with putting some pressure. So I think we're good to throw this board back into the unit and get this guy back up and running. So I'm just gonna, again, it's kind of cool how these custom boards they made for the FPGA chip has like these slots that are those gold lines, and they just kind of line up with the slots in the unit. So just gonna slide this back in, and then we'll hop over into the computer and get this back up and running, and be able to maybe push this hash board a little more now that it has the required heat sinks for getting to that higher voltages. So excited to see what this can do with all 3 hash boards now at their full potential. Alright, so we got it all back together, got the fan back on, and I did just want to remind everyone, fan direction is very important, and on this unit, on the Osprey E300, it's the reverse of what you're used to with ASICs. So normally on an ASIC, the control board is on the intake side, but on this guy, that is actually the exhaust side. So your airflow through the unit is this way, as my fingers are going. And that's because the actual FPGA chips are closer to these power inputs, so they're actually like directly below where my fingers are right now. So you want the chips to be as close to the airflow as possible. So this actually sucks in on this side and exhausts out that side. So again, it's the reverse of typical ASICs, where, such as my Z9 Minis here, where the control board is on the intake side and then the exhaust goes out the back, or any other typical ASIC. So yeah, just a reminder to make sure your fans are going the right way on this unit, which is the reverse of what you're probably used to. Alright, so we are back up and operating now. Got it plugged in its temporary location at my farm. I do need a long-term place for it. It can't go in the hot rooms, it's too hot for FPGAs in there. But you can see we do have all 3 FPGA boards now at that 700. Before, the board 0 had to be a lot lower just due to temperature with that heatsink missing. It will always be warmer just because it has that smaller heatsink, so you can see that temp difference there. But we've been running for a little while now and it's been fine. Also, Osprey has been consistently updating their GUI, so as you can probably tell, this is a little different than the last video I did on this guy. But if we hop on over to our miner logs, it'll pop up here in a moment. Hopefully. There we go. So you can see that all 3 boards are hovering at about the same gigahash level now, at that 5.5657. So we're getting 16.69, which is significantly more than what we were prior. I was running this FPGA 0 at a lot lower. I think it was at 4.2. So nice to see that up and running, and yeah, so that's about it for our update on the Osprey E300. hopefully they'll get out a RxD Radiant bitstream here shortly. That's really what I bought this for, or in the hopes of, knowing that Caspa ASICs were on the way, including my AS0s. But again, it was just an opportunity to get into FPGAs and kind of see what they're about. So that's about it for today, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions down below, comments, likes, subscribe, and that's it for now. Until next time.